So now let us study the dihybrid process. Since we have already seen a dihybrid question that we just solved. A dihybrid cross means crossing two plants having two different characters, and we are studying now two different characters. The characters that we are studying now is the seed color and the seed shape. Seed color and seed shape. In a pea plant, seed colors can be two, either green or yellow. Green seed color or yellow seed color. Most of the plants produce yellow seeds. This is not your normal peas. This is garden peas. It is not green peas. It is garden peas. Pisum sativum mainly produces yellow color seeds. So yellow is the dominant character, dominant factor. Most of the seeds produce yellow. Most of the seeds are yellow in color. And for the shape, most of the seeds are rounded, completely round. But few you will find wrinkled. You will see some lining on them. So they are wrinkled. Those yellow seeds are dominant and round seeds are also dominant. Now we are crossing two plants having two different characters. See here, I have taken, or in your book also you have this cross. On page 145 in figure 9.5, you have this cross. Now the Mendel took a round seeded plant, a plant producing round seeds but green seeds. So it has dominant factors here, dominant character here. The seeds are round, but green color of seeds. Green color of seeds are recessive. So these are the factors that he took. Pure round, both of them are capital R, and green, since it is recessive character. Recessive character can come only when both the factors are recessive. So this is sure, and here round factors he has taken capital R and capital R. The other plant which he crossed with this plant was a plant producing wrinkled seeds, but yellow color seeds. Wrinkledness is the recessive factor, so it can be produced only by small r, small r. Why small r? Because r we have taken for roundness. So small r is the wrinkledness factors, and the yellow color of the seed was the dominant factor, and he has taken both the dominant factors. A plant having both dominant factors. So this was the parent population that he took. Mendel took parent generation, round and green and wrinkled and yellow. And when you cross them, what will happen? This plant is going to give one factor for roundness, and that can only be capital R. Same with this plant will give only one character for wrinkledness, that is small r. So the offsprings will have capital R from this parent and small r from this parent. So that's how this plant got a capital R from that parent and small r from this parent. So that's how it gets a hybrid genotype. And this plant has to give one factor for the color, and it is giving the small y for the color. This plant is giving capital Y for the color. So capital Y and small y, this plant is getting capital Y from this parent, small y from that parent. So this is the genotype of the F1 population, the F1 generation. All of them, whether it be 1000, 2000 plants, whatever, but all the plants will show round seeds. Why round seeds? Because capital R is present. All plants were showing round seeds and the seeds were yellow in color. The most obvious genotype would be this. Mendel concluded that the genotype was this. All of them were showing round and violet. Now when you self cross this F1 generation, when you cross this, so here you have four different factors. The four different factors can combine in four different combinations. I have written it here. This plant will produce, when it produces gametes, it is going to take one gamete. One gamete will contain one factor for roundness and one factor for yellowness. So if capital R goes in the gamete, and from here the capital Y goes in the gamete, so the gamete will have R and Y. Otherwise the gamete can also have capital R and small y. Combinations can be anything, or small r and capital Y, or small r and small y. There are four different combinations possible for this plant. When this plant produces gametes, the gametes will be of four different types. Okay, you can try it yourself. You try it on your own copy how many different combinations are possible, and you will conclude with this. When you are calculating the combinations possible, please see that one factor out of the two, one factor should be present. Here we are talking about two characters, so one factor of this character, one factor of this character should be present in one gamete. And since we have so many other factors, each gamete of ours will have one factors of all the character present in our body or in the plant's body. The gametes contain one factor of all the characters. right? So this, since we are talking only about two characters here, the seed color and the seed shape, we have four different types of gametes that can be produced. And since we are self-crossing it, I have written the gametes again because it's going to cross with itself. The gametes of one flower are going to cross with the gametes of the same flower. So two times you have to write it down, and then you have to see the combinations that we get. If this type of gamete fuses with this type of gamete, you get capital R, capital R, capital Y, capital Y. What will be the characteristic or phenotype of this plant? Since capital Y is present, capital R is present, the seeds will be round. Capital Y is present, seed will be yellow. Here capital R and capital Y is present, round and yellow again. Capital R and capital Y is present, round and yellow again. Here also round and yellow again. So the whole top line will produce round and yellow seeds. This line, capital R, capital Y is present, so round and yellow. Here capital R is present but not capital Y. So this character here, this type of plants will be round but green, not yellow, because yellow is recessive. So round and green. Here you are getting round and green. Here in the top line you are getting round and yellow. Here also round and yellow. Here also round and yellow. Here round and green. Here capital R and capital Y are present, so here also round and yellow. But here see capital R is present but no capital Y. So again this will be round and green. Okay, let's go to the next line. Round and yellow, both dominant are present, so round and yellow. Here round and yellow, capital R and capital Y are present, round and yellow. Here small r is present, no capital R. So this plant cannot produce rounded seeds. This plant is going to produce wrinkled seeds. So this plant will produce wrinkled and yellow, a new combination we are getting. Wrinkled and yellow. Wrinkled and yellow plant. Here again wrinkled and yellow, because only small r is present, no capital R is present, but capital Y is present. So wrinkled and yellow plant again. What happens in the next line? Here we have capital R and capital Y, round and yellow. Lot of round and yellows. Why round and yellows? Because round and yellow are the dominant factors here, dominant characters. Roundness is also dominant, yellowness is also dominant. Whatever character is dominant will be found in majority of the plants. So many round and yellow because they are the dominant characters. They will be maximum. So here we have round and yellow. Here we have capital R but no capital Y, so it will be round and green. Here no capital R, it is small r, so it will be wrinkled and yellow. And here you have a plant with none of the factor capital, so this will be wrinkled and green. This will be wrinkled and green. So we saw that four different characters are possible: round and yellow, round and green, wrinkled and yellow, wrinkled and green. So I have written it down here. The phenotypes, the combination of phenotypes possible in the F2 generation. The combination of phenotypes in the F2 generation. So let us count and see what is the phenotypic ratio here. The ratio of the phenotypes. Round and yellow will be the maximum because they are the dominant characters. So round and yellow, round and yellow, round and yellow, round and yellow. Here also round and yellow, round and yellow, round and yellow. So you can see a triangle being formed. These are round and yellow. These are round and yellow, and also these are round and yellow. So you can see a triangle, round and yellow. All these plants in your triangle also, if you make, will be round and yellow. See, count how many plants: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Round and yellow plants are 9. Then we have round and green. Let us see round and green. Here round and green. Round and green 1. Here also round and green. See, round and green 2. And here also you get round and green number 3. So 3 plants, again a triangle, round and green, round and green, round and green, 3 round and greens. So 3 round and greens. How many with wrinkled and yellow? Wrinkled and yellow. Here you have wrinkled and yellow. Here see, it is wrinkled and yellow. Here also wrinkled and yellow. So again a triangle, again a small triangle here. So this is also 3 in number, wrinkled and yellow. And how many wrinkled and green? Only 1 wrinkled and green. So the ratio formed here when you take a dihybrid cross. When you are doing a dihybrid cross, what is dihybrid cross? When we are crossing two plants having two different contrasting characters. Two different characters we are talking about. Here seed color also and seed shape also. So 2 different contrasting characters we crossed, and when we cross 2 different contrasting characters, we get the phenotypic ratio in the F2 generation. The phenotypic ratio is 9:3:3:1. For monohybrid cross, you were always getting 3:1 phenotypic ratio in the F2 generation. For a dihybrid cross, for any dihybrid cross for a pea plant, you would get 9:3:3:1. So with this experiment, with this crossing, what was Mendel planning to achieve? What conclusion did he draw from this experiment? He came out with a conclusion that when characters are passed on to the next generation, they are independent of any other character. What I mean is, a round seed can be wrinkled, can be yellow also, can be green also. It is not that a character is fixed with another character. One character does not depend upon the other. A yellow color seed can be wrinkled also, can be round also. That means yellow color seed is not linked to roundness. They are maximum in number, but this is maximum number not because of anything else, but because they are dominant characters. Yellow and round, they are dominant characters, so they will be maximum, but no problem. But we are finding out that yellow and green also plants are present. That means yellowness is not linked, not dependent upon roundness of seed. Yellow seeds can also rise with wrinkled seeds. Round seeds can arise with yellow seeds, round seeds can also arise with green seeds. That means these two characters, what we are talking about, seed color and seed shape, they are independent of each other. They are not linked, they are not dependent on each other. So Mendel concluded, when characters are passed from one generation to another, these characters are independent of each other. These characters do not depend upon any other character, and that is what is the second law of Mendel. So law of independent assortment. What is this assortment? Here Mendel said that during gamete formation, each trait I told you is coded by 2 factors. So Mendel said during gamete formation, only one factor of each trait, if you have 100 traits, only one factor of each trait will be passed on into each gamete. So each gamete will have only one factor of each trait. If you have 100 characters, the gamete will have only 100 factors. That means one factor from each trait. Okay, each character is coded by 2 factors. I told you earlier also, each character is coded by 2 factors, and one factor for each trait will be passed on into the gamete. That is during gamete formation. Now this assortment of factors into gametes will be independent. One factor of one trait does not depend upon the factors of any other trait. Okay, this is the statement. The assortment of factors of one trait is independent of the assortment of the factors of any other trait. 2 traits are independent of each other. If 2 traits are independent, that means their factors will also be independent of each other, and their assortment into gamete is also independent of each other. This conclusion he came out with the dihybrid cross. The 9:3:3:1 ratio cross gives this conclusion, and this is known as law of independent assortment, the second and the most important law of Mendel. So with this I leave you, so that you go through this, learn the 2 laws, learn the different crosses that I have shown you and which are there in your book. This is very important for examination. So learn it very well. All the best.